Hello and welcome back for another garden tour. It is late June here in my West Georgia Zone 8 garden. We are about to experience a massive heat wave here in the southeastern United States. So I wanted to make sure that I got out to this beautiful, productive garden here and showed you all what I have growing. If you are new here, my name is Allie, and on this channel, I document the process of building our homestead from scratch, growing food for our family, and most importantly, raising our little girl. So without further ado, let me show you around my garden. This garden is looking so lush and beautiful. It's amazing how much it grows from video to video. And I'm so happy with how much produce we have gotten out of this garden. I would say that every dinner that we make, we come out and we harvest something here from the garden and we include it. I am just thrilled with how this first season here on the homestead is turning out in our garden. We came from just your typical suburbs in Georgia, and our garden at that house was mostly shade. So it's a new concept to us to have so much sun, and it's amazing what a full sun garden can produce. Let me show you. Happy to report that this pepper bed behind me is finally starting to produce peppers. Some of those peppers are even starting to turn colors like orange and red. Let me show you. We've got our lunchbox orange peppers. I see jalapenos popping up. More jalapenos. These are Santa Fe Grande peppers here that are probably about ready to be harvested. Got my bell peppers coming on. This continues to be one of my favorite parts of this garden. I love the way that is trellising and cascading out and down. If you watch my vlogs, you will know that eggplant is something I did not really grow up eating, and it has been quite the challenge to figure out how I like to eat it, because I do have this whole half a raised bed here full of eggplant, and these eggplants are producing so many eggplants. And I have found that I absolutely love eating eggplant. My favorite way so far is to just cut it in half, salt, pepper, any type of oil, and grill it. And it's so good. I love eggplants. I noticed the other day that I'm finally getting some green beans, but I feel like I thought green bean season was way earlier. I mean, we're here at the end of June and I'm just now getting green beans, so I don't know, but actually now that I'm looking at it, there's quite a few on here. So maybe I should come out here and pick a few green beans for dinner. Another thing that has been so incredibly prolific this season in this garden are the cherry tomatoes here. We have so many cherry tomatoes, and one way I have been loving eating a bunch of cherry tomatoes is oven drying them. I will leave a recipe in the description box below that you can follow for oven dried tomatoes. Ideally, I don't think cherry tomatoes are the best tomatoes for this recipe, but they are so good. They turn into these tiny little dots basically, and I just stuff them into a glass mason jar and pour olive oil all over it, and you can just scoop those out and add it to pasta, on top of pizza, on top of bread. It's so good. Another thing I'm loving in this garden are these gorgeous sunflowers. Even when they're past their peak, I think they're just so whimsical and magical looking. I love this one. It's completely, it's like a shower head. Behind me here, you see the sprinkler going. And I'm sure this is the most unideal way to water your garden because it's just absolutely soaking all my plants. The humidity is insane out here. And this is just the perfect breeding ground for fungus and sickness. Oh, my camera is overheating actually. But this is just the perfect way to get in sickness. But the ground was feeling incredibly dry. I feel like watering is probably better than not watering at all. My heirloom slicer raised bed is doing so well, and I actually just noticed our first red tomato is ripening on the vine. I'm so excited here because I'm finally starting to get some cucumbers off of these plants. I feel like it's a bit late for me, but better late than never because I have harvested about 5 beautiful, huge cucumbers. There's a nice cucumber right there. And then in this bed here, just more cherry tomato madness and a couple of big heirloom slicers down here that are ripening. This is kind of fun. Behind me here, I planted 2 rows of sweet corn. My mom brought me these plants, and it's probably too late here in Georgia to plant corn, but I stuck it in the ground and we'll see what happens. It would be amazing to get some ears of corn. And then a couple more birthday gifts from my wonderful mother are 2 bushes here. One of them is called a kaleidoscope abelia. It's a flowering shrub. And then behind that here, we have an elderberry bush. So I am thinking of ripping out everything surrounding this flagpole and replacing just some of these boring bushes with something a little bit more interesting. And this is the area that I'm thinking of putting these 2 new bushes in. And then behind me here, I have my beloved in-ground garden. It's interesting to see the difference between the raised bed gardens and the in-ground gardens here. I would say the raised bed gardens produce so much more and so much more prolifically, but there is still so much food growing in these in-ground spaces. Let me show you. And it actually looks like I'm about ready to harvest another zucchini here. And then we have a squash plant right next to it that's just a summer yellow squash that is really starting to ramble and take over the space. I actually haven't even gotten a yellow squash from that plant yet. I'm seeing where I stuck in just a few overflow plants. I put an eggplant here, and these eggplants are, I mean, that's definitely an edible eggplant, but they're not producing like they are over in those raised beds. But I did stick a rogue jalapeno here, and just goes to show how resilient and heat-loving and sort of drought-loving peppers are, because this little guy looks very happy here. And this is probably the highlight of the whole tour right here, because I just noticed a tiny little watermelon is forming. That is very exciting. Still a teeny tiny little baby, but hopefully that means that we will have homegrown watermelon at some point this summer. I love this gladiolus that has just given up in this heat. Still weirdly beautiful. And in this area of the in-ground garden beds, we have another row of potatoes here. I have my okra going, which still hasn't formed any okra pods. I mean, oh my gosh, wow. I am seeing a few okra pods. I didn't even realize. I'll be tasting okra for the first time in no time, I'm sure. I heard they grow very, very quickly. Like to the point where you have to check the plant twice a day. I harvested potatoes out of this row and this row. I actually still have a couple of more plants to dig up. And behind the potatoes, I planted sweet potatoes. So we will see if those sweet potato slips take off in this space. That's a sweet potato slip right there, just stuck into the ground. I love the way these red cardinal vines have completely overtaken these arches. That's going to be very beautiful whenever they start flowering. And this is called echinacea, right? It's a beautiful flower. This is another gift, birthday gift from my mom that I just recently stuck in here. It's called Toe Tickler. Before I post this video, I wanted to show you guys that I'm growing lettuce just straight up in my kitchen because it's obviously way too hot. Well, I don't know if that's obvious to everybody. When it's too hot outside, lettuce gets bitter. So I figure if I grow it in the house, I can avoid the bitter lettuce drama. Thank you all so much for joining me tonight in my garden. I am going to go in and eat some pizza and drink some basil iced tea. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.